Okay, we got the heater out, took the lid off. The lid basically sits on here. You have a little screw cap. Unscrew that on the fan side. This just pops off and then gives you access to the whole inside of the heater. And then from here, we have to get everything out of here. So take the gasket off the bottom and take this off. Take both ends off. That might help. Alright, so we'll set the casing aside, and then this is what the inside of the diesel heater looks like. You have your electrical connections, your computer board control panels under here. Your spark plug is in this area. And what we need to do, we need to take off this whole top part because we need to access inside of this chamber here. This is the chamber that is going to be all sooted up. First thing we're going to want to do is remove the control box here. This is your circuit board. There is a little Allen key screw here. I already have it loosened. So we're going to pull that out. And right here, there are two little pinch buttons. Pinch those together. The circuit board comes off of there. Make sure you don't pull too far because you don't want to put any strain on any of the wires. And then the next spot, there are four screws here. That's going to take this upper part of the chamber off where the fan is. And so we're going to take that off quick. And now that we have those screws out of there, this should come off of here. And we're going to set that aside. As you can see in here, this is just the fan, the blower that blows the heat. And now inside of here, I'm going to try to show this. Down inside of here, there is your spark plug. We need to undo that spark plug. It just takes a normal wrench. We're going to undo that so that slides out, and that way all of this is disconnected, and we can then work inside of there much easier. It looks like a 12 millimeter flat wrench does just fine in there. It's a little tight, but I think we can get in there with enough room. Maybe. If you have smaller flat wrenches, it's probably helpful. Okay. On your circuit board here, your spark plug plugs into one side, and this line, not 100% certain what that one does, but that plugs into the other side. If you just unplug them from the circuit board, makes this so much easier. Now, spark plug just comes right out. One of the things with this is we're going to want to make sure that this is nice and cleaned up. But to get into the chamber, we're going to undo these four bolts inside of here. We have the four bolts out of there. So this should, let's see, we got a little gasket here on the side. That gasket right here should just slide out. When you put it back in, make sure that those grooves match up. But that comes out. That actually doesn't look horrible. Wow. Okay, I was expecting a lot worse. The inside there actually doesn't look that bad. I've seen this much, much worse. But I'm going to get in there. I'm going to clean everything out. We'll make sure that we clean up all of this as well. And our spark plug inside of this part where your glow plug goes in, there is a little screen that is back inside of there. It's good to get that screen out of there. It's kind of a pain. You got to figure out some ways to kind of wiggle it out, but you want to make sure that this is clean and make sure it's clean inside of there. I'm not sure if it'll focus or not, but ours is a little dirty. I don't have a spare, so I'm going to try to clean it up a little bit and see what I can do. But it also looks pretty gunked up inside of the glow plug hole. So we'll clean that up as well before we put everything back together. I went through, cleaned out the inside of the chamber pretty good. So I think we're good there. The screen, cleaned up the best I could. It does look a little bit better. Like I said, since I don't have a spare, I'm not going to be able to replace it, but I can see through the screen, so we should be okay there. Cleaned up the spark plug a little bit. It does look like I have a pinched bare wire, so probably going to try to figure out something there. Maybe some shrink tubing or something, make sure that stays secure. Cleaned everything up here, cleaned in the hole where the glow plug goes. All right, to put things back together, we're going to slide the screen back in a little hole there. Just be careful with it. I do have a little plastic tool here that seemed to help and not cause any damage, so we'll shove that in there. This is going to go back in here, and when you put this into the chamber, make sure that you line up your little gasket here. It has little grooves on the side that should slide in place. All right, so your gasket is seated in there to make sure that's good. Your fuel line is in place. All the bolts should line up there. There is a seal that is between this part and the chamber. Make sure that that didn't get damaged at all when you were cleaning or moving around. Be very careful with that. That way, when you put the bolts back in, everything will seal back up nice and easy. I'm going to go ahead and put these bolts in. Now that you have those bolts in nice and tight, we're going to go ahead and put the glow plug back in. That just slides in. And tighten it up. Get most of the way with your fingers. And go ahead and slide your gasket down to keep everything in place. Next, we're going to put the fan assembly in place. Make sure you bolt in your 4 screws around the outside here. Now that the fan assembly is back into place, we're going to reconnect our circuit board here. Pretty easy to see which way they go, or which ones they're going. One's a 2-prong, one's a 4-prong, so not that hard. And then this, we're going to clip back in place. Get the last little screw here. If you have screws left over at this point, you did something wrong. We are back together. We're going to put it back in the case now. Plug all of your electronics back in as far as your controller goes, your 12-volt, all of that. And then hopefully it's going to fire up. We'll see. Slide everything in. Make sure your wire gasket is put into place there. I'm going to put the cap back on. That end. This end just slides right in. Screw your vent cap back on. Right there. Make sure you put your gasket back on the bottom. Now, she's all back together. Let's get her hooked up. I think it worked. Oh man, I'm so glad all that went back together and our heater is again working. We're all set.